There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk the earth.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to try something a little bit different this week. We're going to kind of start doing like some PG tip stuff, which is like kind of guitar tuition stuff really. So I'm going to try and make what is theoretically very difficult, physically very easy. So tonight we're going to look at how you identify all of your notes on the fretboard on every string, and we're also going to look at how you can play every chord kind of all over the fretboard as well, in all of the keys. We're not going to look at the voicings of the chords yet. We're just going to get you used to playing the chords all over the place, and then in the next video we'll look at how you can change all the voices. So we're going to start off by naming the notes on the guitar. The easiest way to remember this, guys, is that everything is alphabetical. Everything is a whole tone, except E to F and B to C. So if you can remember Everton Football Club, so we've got E to F, or if you're a Liverpool Football Club fan or whatever, football, I don't know, it's a bit weird, but it's an easy way to remember it. If you can think of anything better, stick it in the comments. Right, so straight away on the E string, we've got an open E, then we go a semitone to F, whole tone to G, whole tone to A, whole tone to B. Remember B to C is still a semitone, so we're going to go B to C, semitone, C to D, whole tone, D, back to E, whole tone. And then the guitar from the 12th fret starts exactly the same again, so you don't have to worry about it, you only have to worry up to the 12th fret. And let's have a look at the A string. So we've got an open A, and then we've got a whole tone to B, semitone to C, whole tone to D, whole tone to E, semitone to F, whole tone to G, whole tone back to A. And that's the same for every string, so all we basically need to remember is the semitones, E to F, B to C. Everything in between can either be written as a sharp, so G sharp, or we can also write it as an A flat, so G sharp, A flat. So they're your kind of incidental middle notes. So that's how you kind of identify every single note on the fretboard. E and E being exactly the same, of course. There's no trickery, pokery there, really. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at, well, how do I, now that I know where all the notes are, if I find an E note on the A string, for example, is it going to look like an E major? Well, no, because that's now an E minor. Damn you, B string! So what we need to do is look at each string individually. Now the PG tip, the T-like monkey tip of it all, is that we can look at the strings, the bass, where our bass note is, will give us a good understanding of kind of what our chords will look like. So let's start with the E chord, the E string. So our bass note's on the E string, which means the major chord is going to look like an E major. So that means if I raise that a semitone to F, there's an F major, G major, A major, B major, C major, D major, back to E major. So as long as we remember E major and we remember where the notes are on the E string, we can play every key with an E shape chord. So thinking that that's okay, that's cool, E looks good, I can handle E, but you don't want to be playing every single song on your E string. You might want to venture to the A string. So now we've got the A string, we've got an A major chord. Now if I move that up a whole tone, I get B major, C major, D major, E major, F major, G major, back to E major. Now you'll notice that I play A major like that, but then when I go up to B I kind of move my finger in a little bit. It's just because I've got horribly fat stumpy fingers, so I kind of have to do that, otherwise I won't get all my fingers in. Unless I've got something specifically noodly, and then I'll kind of make the effort. So that's the A string. Everything on the A string looks like an A shape, we're just moving the bass note. So let's think about the D string. So, you know what I mean? It's got to be the same, hasn't it? Surely it's got to be the same, bib. It is. D major. Right, now D to E is a whole tone. So I raise it up. Now the tip, another little PG tip in this is, if I find a bass note, where do I play the chord form? It's a fifth above, or a power chord above. So if you find your bass note, play the power chord, that's where your chord will live. So if you didn't hear that clearly enough, we've got D note, play the fifth, that's where your A chord's going to live, because my bass note is on the A string. D's, as you notice, my bass note is on the D string, and I'm playing my D chord a fifth above on the string down. Yeah? Or a power chord shape, I suppose you could look at it like that. And again, they will all go up as as do the notes of the string, really. So that's it for this week, guys. Every single chord, every single major chord at least, all over the fretboard, over 3 string groups. So we figured out that everything on the E string looks like an E major, we're just moving the bass note. Everything on the A string looks like an A, everything on the D string looks like a D. We figure out where the chord form lies by raising a fifth. So for example, G note, E chord, G major. Right, join us next time for all of the chord voicings that you're ever going to need all over the fretboard. I'm going to try and do that in under 5 minutes. Check us out.